New York City-based Blue Apron just raised $135 million in Series D at a valuation of $2 billion. They're shipping 3 million meals a month, and we sat down with CEO Matt Salzberg to talk about it. Okay, so you raised $135 million recently. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's the money going to go towards?
Obviously, the company's been growing really fast, and so a lot of it's just to support our growth. So we're hiring quite extensively. You know, we now actually have over 1,800 people at the company.
1,800, is that the word you just said?
Yep, 1,800. A lot of that's in fulfillment. You know, we have a pretty good group in our headquarters, but we're still pretty understaffed across the board given the growth we've had. So we're hiring in technology, we're hiring in marketing and fulfillment and operations and purchasing. So that's a big use of the proceeds. We're scaling our fulfillment infrastructure and our supply chain with relation to farm sourcing, new software that we're developing in-house, better processes, and then finally marketing as well.
Yeah, I know like something in the press release mentioned automation software. I wasn't sure if that was going to be something that was more on the consumer side or on the fulfillment side. Can you talk about that a little bit?
We're developing tons of in-house software tools. You know, we've built a whole suite of tools in-house that allows us to manage purchasing, the workflow of purchasing. It allows us to manage you know, our fulfillment operations and the day-to-day operations of what goes on in our fulfillment centers, our e-commerce and order processing, our shipping software, our customer service software, and all of that's been built in-house. And so we're continuing to evolve that. And a lot of that is, to be honest, why we're so efficient at what we do. It allows us to keep our costs down and allows us to basically get fresher food to people at better prices because we're so efficient at what we do and we're getting more and more efficient. And so that results in savings for customers.
Let's talk about working with farmers. How many farmers do you work with and how exactly does that work?
So we have hundreds of different farmers that we work with. We source from farms locally to our different regional fulfillment centers. So if you're in California, you're generally getting produce from a California farm. And you know, we have a whole team of people whose job it is to go out and meet farmers, build those relationships. Today, we are literally at the point of the company's life where we're planting items in the ground with farms just for us. And so, you know, we have about 1 million pounds of produce that we've worked with farmers to plant in the ground that's gonna be harvested for us just over the course of this summer. And we're looking to do more and more of that because what it allows us to do is work with the farmers to plan their production in a way that allows them to be more seasonal, more efficient, and utilize their resources better, which results in higher quality crops for us and for our customers at lower prices for them.
So you always throw like some weird ingredient into almost every recipe, like something that's like relatively hard to find in a grocery store. Is that like kind of a ploy to keep people on Blue Apron? Because if I get enough recipes from you, then I should theoretically be able to go and buy stuff at the store and just continue making those recipes I love without getting my ingredients from you. But that's impossible. I've tried.
It's something that people want from us. You know, people are interested in cooking things that they haven't cooked before. They're interested in trying new ingredients. And quite frankly, part of the reason we can work with ingredients that a grocery store doesn't have is because we teach you how to work with them, right? And so if we had a, you know, ghee or some other kind of ingredient that's a little more of an exotic ingredient, you wouldn't know what to do with it if you saw it on a shelf in the supermarket, you wouldn't buy it. But because we're teaching you how to work with an item and we have, you know, beautifully step-by-step photographed instructions and videos for a lot of these ingredients that are more exotic ingredients, you're actually learning new things and figuring out how to cook with them. So we're generating demand for these kind of products in a way that a grocery store can't generate demand for them.
Awesome. So fulfillment centers, how many do you have in the United States?
Yeah, so today we have 3.
3. And so like you're shipping 3 million meals a month. What is the distance away from a fulfillment center that you can hit? And also like how many people can one fulfillment center feed, right? Like how much, what does it support?
It's not as cleanly.
Because some are smaller and bigger.
Yeah, some are smaller, some are bigger. You know, our newest center is in Texas. And so that's our most modern center, which will be able to support the most volume, but today is our smallest center in terms of volume because we just launched it. And approximately the way to think of it is when we have a West Coast center, a Central center, and an East Coast center. And so that's how we cover the country today. You know, we'll likely be adding more centers because it's even more efficient to have more centers over time. But we cover over 99% of the country regionally that way.
In terms of deliveries.
In terms of deliveries.
So with the farmers, like I want to know your stance, ethically speaking. Like this is kind of off topic, but I saw this documentary recently on Monsanto, and everyone knows about Monsanto.
Yeah.
Like, how do you approach like farmers the way that our food is grown? That's going to be a huge deal in the next few years. Like we're going to run out of food, or the pesticide, all that mess, right? Like, how do you approach that ethically as a company who's trying to feed people, right?
We have a very big focus on sustainability at our company, and we actually prefer to work with farmers. Almost all of our direct farming relationships are actually people who have a very organic approach to their farming. We're not an exclusively organic company in everything that we do, but we strive towards all those principles. And so a lot of our farmers are sort of medium and small sized farms instead of these larger commercial farms.
Okay, final question and you're off the hook. What is the greatest challenge for Blue Apron?
Since starting the company, we've grown really fast. And so for us, it's been keeping up with each step of the growth curve. We never expected to be as large as we are today, even 10 years down the line. And so, where we are today, we're trying to take the company to be even 10 times larger. And so it's hiring people. Everyone at our company is doing the job of 5 other people today. And building that organization, maturing the organization, and continue to scale our supply chain and fulfillment organization to keep up with the demand as it has to handle more volume, and we have to build those processes for bigger and bigger scale. And to be honest, that's what I spend most of my time on a regular basis. It's the hiring, the organization, and then the fulfillment scaling.